Once again, hello and welcome to another day of inner being lessons and knowledge that we would like to share. Always grateful to have Andrew and other participants. Today we have the honor of Ji Hoa, one of the leaders in the Vietnamese community in the United States. So we've been doing the sharing of this wonderful knowledge, transformative knowledge, for a number of years now. And with this season, I'm starting season 5, day 2. The intention is not only to transmit the wonderful knowledge to new people, but at the same time to try and stay as close as possible to the original teaching of our founding master. Our founder, Master Tuan, has shared this lesson in a 21-day course, 21 consecutive day, and he has set the intention of speaking it in such a way that a student of the mentor level are able to listen to it, copy it, and share it back with other people. It is done in the Vietnamese language, and my intention is to listen to it. Okay, that's why I have my headphone. But listen to the Vietnamese version, and I will share it back in the English version. Okay, so hopefully those of you who are reviewing the recording later, you will find it useful, so that you can listen and copy and sort of pay attention to the way the knowledge is presented. Not only the vocabulary is going to be pretty simple, but the way the knowledge is presented, that will hopefully be useful in your own transformation, as well as your sharing with friends and family members, so that they could also enjoy a transformative experience. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to turn on my recording, and I would just translate directly as much as I can, as best as I can. Hello, Ko and Jang. Thank you for gifting us with your presence today. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so we are going to explore a new principle today. Okay, it is a principle called the principle of alignment with desire. The principle of alignment with desire. I'm just gonna write the word alignment with desire. Okay, so this is a principle of alignment with desire. To fully understand this principle, we need to understand one important word. Okay, it is the word realization. This is a important question. An important word for anybody's life. Okay, the wise people have taught us that a person's life is not important how long or how short. What's important is when we realize. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. You can write it down. It is not important how long or short a person's life is. What's important is when we realize something. A person's life is not important how long or how short. What's important is when we come to a realization. Okay, so once again, a person's life, long or short, doesn't matter. What really matters is when you come to a realization. Okay, so what does that mean? What does it mean to come to a realization? It talks about the importance of the moment of realization with respect to a person's entire life. Okay, there is a degree of importance to realizing something. So a person only need to realize something, and then at that moment, from that moment on, their life will change. And so when we look at a person's realization, there are different concepts relating to the word realization, such as awakening, such as enlightenment. There are words like sudden realization, ultimate realization, small little realization, all relating to that moment where we realize something. That realization we tend to look at on a positive direction. Okay? Generally, when we realize something, we say it is a positive way. However, there are times where some people may come to a bad realization. A woman may realize that in this life all men are jerks. Do you see? Do you see that to be a possibility? A woman can realize that, oh, all the men in life are jerks. There are people who may realize negatively. Okay? Some people may realize that it is best to maintain distance in relationship, because if you get too close to people, then you may get hurt. Some people have those realizations, do they not? And so when it comes to realization or awakening or enlightenment, ultimate realization, okay, great awakening, in general, there is a positive sense to it. However, there are certain realizations that can lead a person to a negative existence, a detrimental and undesirable kind of life. Because when a person realizes something, what happens next is that we will understand in that direction. Okay, so when we realize something, we have an understanding in that direction. And when we have an understanding in a certain direction of our realization, then we will have experience some kind of transformation or a change in the direction that we have realized. Okay? So once we realize something, we have an understanding. And then that understanding comes to a transformation, which is a change in the way we think, change in the way we behave, change in our life. So when a person realizes they have an understanding, that understanding brings forth a transformation, which is a change or some kind of action, okay, or behavior. So wise people have taught us that the age, realization doesn't depend on the age. There are people who are of great age, but there are people who are at young age, but they come to a certain realization early in life that surpasses those who have spent many years living in this world. So when it comes to human life and experience, there are many realizations. And not everybody is going to realize positively about life. Right? So the question is, how do we come to realization that are beneficial and positive about life, so that we can understand in a way and transform in a way that is positive and beneficial to life, to our own life. Okay? So wise people have taught us that when a person comes to a realization, the material expression of the realization is you may notice that they scratch their head, or they slap their thigh, or they hit themselves in the head. It is the moment of awakening, a moment of enlightenment, as if a light bulb has just been turned on. Right? It is the sense that, oh, I have just come to a realization. I see something that I did not see before. It is a light bulb moment, so to speak. Okay? That is a moment of realization. That is a moment of awakening. That is a moment where we open our eyes and we see things in a clearer, more profound way that we had before. And from that comes new understanding about, it could be a small thing, could be life itself. And from then, it will lead to a sort of change in the way we think and a change the way we behave. And that is called a transformation. It is the realization that will lead to a transformation. Okay? Okay. So, if we can orient our realization in a direction that is beneficial to us, that is positive to our life, then can you imagine what our life would be like? The way we can change and transform in a positive way. What possibility are there for us if we can direct our realization in a positive and beneficial way? Especially if we have many different realization in life and experience. If we have realization when it comes to human interaction, when it comes to things like honoring gratitude. When a person, for example, come to a realization that honoring gratitude will drive away resentment and blame, then that person will experience a new reality, a reality that involves honoring and gratitude instead of resentment and blame. When a spouse, a man or a husband, come to a realization that his wife or her husband is a benefactor to them, a great benefactor in life, then from that moment on, their relationship with their spouse will change. Okay? When a person, for example, realizes that even if darkness has been in our life for 1,000 years, all we need is a single candle. It will begin to drive away the darkness. Think about that one. When a person realizes that they could be living in darkness with respect to, let's say, their health, their relationship, their finance trouble, they can live in darkness for 1,000 years, but the moment that a single candle is lit up in their house, okay, the house of holistic health or house of holistic wealth as we study, then the darkness will be slowly driven away. Then they will have a hope for themselves. Okay? And so all we need is to have a series of realization, beneficial realization relating to our inner being, our health and beauty, about our relationship, our family relationship, our work and social relationship. If we have realization about our finances, about business and investment, then our life will begin to change. So the wise people have taught us that the change will take place when we experience that realization. Now the problem is, most people tend to associate the realization from experience of life. It is the experience, usually the pain and suffering experience, that will lead to some realization. There are people who are fortunate enough to come to great realization by pondering and thinking. Just pondering and thinking will lead them to realization. But that requires a lot of wisdom, requires a lot of knowledge and understanding. A lot of people wait until pain and suffering teach them a lesson before they will realize anything important. But the price they pay for waiting for pain and suffering is the pain and suffering. Okay? The price that we pay for waiting for pain and suffering to be our teacher before we realize anything, before we understand and transform, is that we have to pay the price of time and effort and pain and suffering. And then there are people who are very fortunate with wisdom that can come to a great realization through pondering and thinking alone. But fortunately for us, wise people have taught us that there is a third and more effective way of coming to realization. And that is realization through studying and learning. Studying, practicing, and learning. And so through studying and practicing and learning, we can come to a realization that will lead to a better understanding, will lead to our transformation. So today we are going to study a principle called the principle of alignment with desire. This principle helps orient our realization, right? We are going to proactively, right, take the initiative to orient our own transformation. We are going to initiate our own transformation. Kind of like from the last week's topic, right? Instead of waiting for the eggs to be broken from the outside in, we are going to initiate change from within first. Okay, so with the principle of alignment with desire, we are going to proactively initiate the change from within. We are going to cause our own transformation by way of understanding and realization. Okay, and so with the principle of alignment with desire, the wise people have taught us that in order for a person to come to a realization, they first have to have some sort of inquiry. They have to have some kind of pondering question. Okay, so it is the inquiry that would lead to a realization. An inquiry. Okay? A person's inquiry will decide their realization. Inquiry is different than simple thinking. Okay? Inquiry is a type of thinking, a type of question that is repeatedly many times within our hearts and mind. An inquiry is a pattern of question and thought that repeats itself, and we have a deep desire to have the answer. Okay, an inquiry, here we define an inquiry is a question that has been repeated within our hearts and mind with the deep desire to have a answer for that. Okay? A deep concern that we've been having for many years. A pondering that we really want to know the answer to. It is not a simple question like, what's for dinner tonight? What's the weather? How are you doing? Those are just simple questions that doesn't lead to any important realization. But an inquiry are the kind of question that we keep on repeating within our hearts and mind, and we have the deep desire to really want to know the answer to. Okay? And so when you want, it is the desire that will drive your inquiry. That is why it's called the principle of alignment with desire. It is the inquiry that is driven by the desire. Okay? And the brain wants to have the answer. Okay? Now, there are questions that we will ask ourselves repeatedly, but we don't really care about the answer, then that is not called an inquiry. Okay? That's something else. Okay? It will not lead to any realization if we do not have a deep desire to have the answer to our pondering question. Okay? That is the definition of an inquiry. So when we understand that inquiry is a kind of question that we repeat and we want an answer to. Okay, so we would write the word question Okay. It's a type of questioning with a deep desire for answer, and it's repeating day in and day out. Every time we've been pondering it, we've been really concerned about it, and the tendency to want to have that answer, here we define that as an inquiry. Okay, to inquire, to inquiry. And so when a person have an inquiry, then they will have a realization. That is an important connection. It is an inquiry that will lead to a realization. Many people go through life without inquiring anything, and so they never realize anything. They don't really understand anything, and their life never really transforms. It is only through a series of inquiry with a certain direction. Okay, there is a direction to the inquiry. Okay, when we inquire, there are direction to it. There is the negative direction. Oh, this is an important key point, and this is an important part of the knowledge that is going to be very powerful. Because if a person has a negative inquiry, then for sure their realization will also be negative, detrimental, undesirable. They would understand in a negative way, and they will transform in a negative direction. This is an important point. If a person has an inquiry that is positive, then they will realize positively, they will understand positively, and they will have an experience, a transformation that is positive and beneficial to their life. So to understand if something is negative or positive, and if we can orient the inquiry in a negative or positive way, then we will come to a realization and a transformation that align with that positive or negative direction. Okay, and here it's simple. A positive transformation is an experience of life that is desirable, positive, desirable. Negative is anything that is detrimental and undesirable. Okay, so if anybody understands this principle, the principle that a positive inquiry leads to a positive realization and lead to a positive transformation, that will make you a master of life orientation. Okay, so if you are a parent and you can lead your children, orient your children to inquire positively about life, then you will be able to orient your children's life in a positive direction. They will experience desirable outcome in life. But if we don't understand this principle and we inadvertently set up a kind of negative inquiry, then we may inadvertently cause our children and other people to come to a negative understanding, and they will experience negative and undesirable experience in life. Okay, this is very important. So it is important to come to a complete awareness about what it means to be positive and negative. Okay, so we are going to interact and discuss and explore the concept of positivity and negativity. Okay, if we can come to a full understanding of what it means to be positive and negative, then we will it'll be simple for us to recognize if we are being positive or if we are being negative. Okay. Okay, so negative and positive. And in this recording, the master is interacting with some friends. And for those of you who are mentors and you are going to be sharing this knowledge, what you want to do is you want to ask a participant in your Zoom or in your group for anybody who is still single, not yet married, but still in a romantic relationship, a serious romantic relationship, not yet married yet. Okay, so in this example, there is a participant who claimed that she has a boyfriend. Okay, the teacher is asking, okay, is this your lover? Okay, is it so we're gonna okay. So here's the example. Okay, and we're going to try to show if we are understanding the negative or positive. Okay, so we're going to borrow the example in the recording. So this person has a boyfriend or a girlfriend, somebody serious. And one day, a friend, a friend, is showing you that this special person, this lover, this boyfriend or girlfriend that you're pretty serious with, has there are videos and images of your other romantic person is engaging in some relationship with another person. Okay, this is concrete evidence of your romantic partner being in an affair. Okay, so you have a romantic partner, and a friend show you concrete evidence, videos, pictures of your romantic partner being in an affair with another person. Okay, so the question is, okay, before you answer this for yourself, is that information, that knowledge, okay, is that a negative or is it a positive information? Okay, so for those of us, even this example is best used for couples who are in a somewhat serious relationship but not yet wholly committed to marriage just yet. Okay, and so the idea is that you're in this relationship and somebody giving you concrete evidence that your romantic partner is having an affair with another person. And so the question is that knowledge, those pictures and images, are those knowledges positive or negative? Okay, are those knowledge positive or negative? Okay, so I'm gonna skip to the part where the okay, so we're gonna get to the point where the participant is answering. Okay, so some people may say that the knowledge of the partner cheating is positive, and other people may say that the knowledge of the partner cheating is negative. And so let's see what we really understand, if this is positive or negative. Okay, positive or negative is, sometimes it could be difficult if we cannot clarify our true desire, because a person in a relationship with this romantic partner, and they are wholly committed and they really want to get married, and they want to settle down with this person, and their true desire is to be in a, mutual relationship with this person, then the set of knowledge or news that the person is cheating on them, they would consider that to be negative, right? Because that would break the relationship. But if a person isn't serious about getting into a relationship, in fact, their desire may be to break up. Maybe their desire is to break up, but they haven't found the excuse or the courage to break up. Then the knowledge of that person cheating on them would be a positive set of knowledge, because it would give them concrete evidence to break the relationship up, so they could be free to pursue a real relation that they want. Okay? Right? So what's important here is, so the master is talking to the young lady. If your true desire is you want to have a lifelong marriage with this man, and you receive this information that the man is cheating, then that information go against your desire. Right? It goes against your desire. We're going to use this, we're going to write right here, against, okay, against desire. Here, it is aligned with. If a set of information that comes along and it goes against our desire, then we consider that information to be negative. But if the information comes to us and it aligns with what we desire, then that is positive information. Okay? So for this young lady, if she's committed to wanting to have a lifelong relationship with a man, she wants to get married, she wants to have children with him, and if that information goes against her desire of having a marital relationship, then that she would consider that to be negative. But if she is itching to break up, then the information that comes would give her a great, wonderful reason to break up a relationship, and she will be free. So, alright, so when we look at ourselves, okay, what are some inquiry that we have about life? Are we able to determine if we have some inquiry about life? And are they positive or negative? For example, if a mother is seeing her child is sitting straight up really close to the TV, and if the mother say to the child, whoa, don't sit too close, to the TV, you're gonna go blind. Okay, so here's an example. If a mother tells her child that don't sit too close to the TV, you're gonna go blind, is she being positive or negative? She's being negative. Because why is it negative? Why would it be negative for the mother to say don't sit too close to the TV, you're gonna go blind? Because every mother would want their children they want the positive for their children. Every mother would want their children to sit far away from the TV, and they want the children to have clear eyes. If the mother were to speak words of positivity, how would she say it? She would say, son or daughter, sit far away so that your eyes would be clear. Right? Sit far away so that you would have good clear eye. What if a woman, let's say when her husband comes home late all the time, and he would go out and drink before she come home, So normally a woman would say, why you keep on going out all the time and you never come home on time and you never spend time with the family. If that woman says that kind of words to her husband, is she using positive or negative words? It's negative. Why is it negative? Because what does she really want? What does she really desire? She desire her husband to come early, to spend time with the family, to have dinner with the family. Did you guys get that? The woman desire a husband to come home early, to spend more time with the family. But if she say things that goes against her desire, then she is being negative. Okay, so there are many angles of looking at positivity and negative, but the simplest way, the most transformative way that we can apply to take full and complete ownership of our life is to measure that against our desire. And so the question is, in life, are we being positive or negative? It depends on what is our desire. And are we speaking and inquiring aligned with our desire, or are we speaking and inquiring against our desire? So if you can determine that, then congratulations. Okay, so from now on, when you understand this, then we can begin to speak words and we can inquire words that align with our desire. For example, exercise. Greetings everybody, thank you for joining our Zoom. I see some people in the chat. If a person says that you need to exercise to prevent getting sick, okay? If somebody say you need to exercise so that you can prevent getting sick, versus a person saying exercise so that you can get great health. If a person say don't exercise, if you don't exercise, you're gonna get so sick you will not be able to work, or if you don't take good care of yourself, you're gonna get sick and you're not gonna even have money to pay for medicine. If you don't study, you're gonna fail and be poor and become a beggar. Some people will speak along that line. Okay, and so do you want our children to become failure and become beggar, or do we want our children to succeed and live a prosperous life? Do we want our body to be healthy? Do we want to be wealthy? Or do we want to be sick and poor? If we want to be healthy and wealthy, then we need to start speaking and inquiring along the line of health and wealth. Speaking and inquiring along the line of our desire. It's so simple, right? Okay? If anything that you want, we simply say and inquiring along the line that we want. And so if anybody here any woman here, for example, who understand this principle, then with your words, your sweet words, you can melt the world. Okay? Because if anything you want, you just have to say what you want with your husband. Anything you want with your children, you just have to say what you want with your children. And you only focus on saying what you want. Anything that you don't want, you don't speak your mouth and say it. Okay, that is an important and a powerful point. If you don't want something, don't say anything, but only say what you want. Anybody get this? Anybody here get the sense that if you want anything and you only say what you want, then your life can change? Anybody here get that sense? All you need to know what you want, and just speak what you want. And then what do you think how your life is gonna look like? We even gone into the details of inquiry and all that stuff. But if you can inquire Okay, you can inquire. If your inquiry align with your desire, then at some point you're going to get the answer. Right? When we have the inquiry and the inquiry align with our desire, then you are going to realize along the line with your desire. Then you will understand and you will transform along the line of your desire. Okay? So let's say there are two women. One woman, if a woman is suspecting that her husband may be cheating, and two women, one woman has an inquiry. Let's say two women is suspecting her husband, but one woman, one woman inquires that why is my husband treating me poorly? I'm doing everything in the family to take care of the family, and you're still treating me poorly. Why? Why are you treating me poorly? The second woman will actually inquire differently. She say, what can you do to spend more time with me and the family? What can you do, and more importantly, what can I do to help you want to spend more time with me and the family? So you can see two women. One wonder, why are you treating me so poorly? And the other woman is saying, what can we do to have a better relationship? Then whom do you think will have a better chance of coming to a realization, an understanding, and a transformation that will align with their desire? Right? It is the latter, the second person. Because the first woman will, at some point, she will come to a realization that in this life, men are all jerks. Yeah. At some point, the first woman will come to a realization that men are all jerks. But the second woman will come to a realization that she needs to change herself. She needs to take the initiative and make things better. Two different realizations will lead to two different understanding and two different transformation. We all initiate in the same point, but fortunately for us, wise people can teach us that we all begin at the same point in life. Even when a person is born in a rich and prosperous with a lot of things going favorably, versus a person who is born in a poor family, we all begin in the same place as a little baby. But a person, when they inquire along the line of their desire, they're going to experience the kind of life that is beneficial to them or not. We may begin in a family that was very prosperous, a lot of wealth. Okay, everything we have is good, great health, great wealth. Okay, we may be born in a very fortunate family, but if we inquire negatively, then our future will guarantee become undesirable and negative. But if a person may begin being born in a family that is very unfortunate, not a lot of wealth, not a lot of material, not even a lot of health, but if they inquire positively, then it is a guarantee that they will experience a life that will be positive eventually. Okay, so it is a direction of the inquiry will determine what their life look like down the line. And so our master has been fortunate so that his life is a proof of this principle. Yeah, our master's personal life is the proof of this principle. When he was taught this principle, and he is very grateful to the wise people who have supported him and taught him and helped him change his inquiry from negative to positive. All you gotta do is shift your inquiry from negative to positive, and your entire life will change. Okay, and so in this little interaction, we're going to help you shift your inquiry. Okay, let's do some practice. Okay, so everybody here in the Zoom, if you have a chance to write, go ahead and write down 5 inquiry about life, about anything, whether your inner being, your health, your relationship, your finances. Go ahead and write down 5 inquiries about life. And inquiries are the things that we have been asking for many years. Okay, any new inquiry is fine too. And then we're going to volunteer. Somebody will raise their hand and see if we can. You can read it to everybody and see if we can interact, and so I can help you explain how is it a negative or how is it a positive inquiry, and how we can orient your inquiry in a way that is beneficial to life. Okay. So take some time. Those of you who are in the Zoom, I want to appreciate Mr. Ron, chị Nguyễn Hằng, cô Hoài My, cô An Trang, cô Syria Võ Thanh Thúy, cô Phô Trư, cô Nga Tra, Andrew, cô Kim Hoa, cô Ngọc Anh Hoàng, cô Thanh Vân, Sen, hello Sen, thank you cô Lăng Anh for joining us, and I see Trương Nguyễn. So if you guys, Trương Ngọc Bửu, okay, so if you guys take some time, go ahead and write down 5 inquiry, 5 questions that you have about life, and we're going to try to help you determine if those inquiry are positive or negative, and see if we can help you shift it and come to a positive realization and understanding and a positive transformation. Okay, we are going to help each other out. While you're writing it down, when you are ready, just raise your hand so that I can call on to you. In the meantime, I'm going to translate the recording. So there is a participant. She is saying that I am 36 years old. This is the first time she's studying the course. Very grateful. First day. Okay, so she has an inquiry. Okay, how can I find an appropriate life partner? Okay, how can I find an appropriate life partner? Oh, okay. Her question is, why haven't I found an appropriate life partner? Okay, her inquiry is, why haven't I found an appropriate life partner? Okay, so we're going to help this person. Why I have not found an appropriate life partner. So let me ask you guys in the Zoom here, okay, and you can interact. You can just type in the chat or just say it out loud, like if this is positive or negative inquiry. The inquiry is, why I haven't found an appropriate life partner. What do you guys think? You can say positive or negative. Go ahead and type it in the chat. If this lady is asking why I haven't found an appropriate life partner, what do you guys think? Is this a positive inquiry or a negative inquiry? So the master is asking the participant herself, is this positive or negative? And she's saying that she thinks it is a negative inquiry. Okay, so why? Why is it a negative inquiry? She said because she is saying something that does not align with her desire. Okay, the master is congratulating that she's gotten it right. Okay, so if you want to change this to a positive inquiry, how? Do you want to change this inquiry from a negative to a positive one? Okay, so the master is asking the participant to change the inquiry, and she is changing it to, I want to find a, how do I find an appropriate life partner? So the master is helping her how to say, how do I find an appropriate life partner? So instead of saying why I have not found an appropriate life partner, to the positive question of how do I find an appropriate life partner? Do you guys get this so far? Okay, those of you in the Zoom today. If a person asks why I have not found an appropriate life partner, guess what's gonna happen? At one point, she's come to an answer. She's gonna get an answer of why she does not have a life partner. Great. But guess what? She would still have no life partner. Do you guys get that? You may have an answer to why you have not found an appropriate life partner. Great. So you will be satisfied with the inquiry. You will come to a realization, oh, that's why I have not found a life partner. But still, you would have no life partner. Until she changed the question to, how can I find an appropriate life partner? And then that will lead to the kind of realization that would actually lead to a life reality that matches her desire, right? Okay. So the master is continuing. We're going to clarify. Okay, we're going to clarify. Okay, so she's asking the participant to write in, how can I find an appropriate life partner? Okay, how can I find a good life partner with me, one who is a match with me? Okay, so how can I find a good match of a life partner? How can I find a life partner that is a good match? So the master is asking, do you have a conception of what it means to be a life partner? Do you have a conception of what it means to be a life partner? What does it mean to you is a life partner? So the participant is saying a life partner is one who can share the same perspective in life, the same awareness of human life and experience, the same understanding and knowledge about life, and a person who can share the same goal in life. So Master says, firstly, same perspective in life. What perspective in life? What is your perspective in life? Do you actually have a perspective in life? Do you have a philosophy of life? How do you look at your life? You have to know your own. You have to be clear with your own philosophy of life. You have to be clear with your own perspective. What is your goal in life? Can you clarify that? If you do not have that clarified, then you will never find a person who is a match for it. If we have not clarified our own perspective in life, if we have not clarified our own philosophy of life, if we have not clarified our own goals in life, then we will never ever be able to find a person who's a match for us, because we don't know what it is first. Okay? We will never find an appropriate life partner because we don't even know what it is. So the master is asking the participant is saying that she's saying that she knows. Okay, now she is saying that I am a person who is very curious. I always make an effort. I enjoy my work. I always want to help other people. And I'm always studying and try to develop myself for many years. I've always cultivated myself, and I want to find a life partner who is similar, who knows how to listen, who knows how to understand. So the master is laughing. Okay, he laughs. And so he asks, have you found that person? And she's saying, no. She has not found that person. So Master is saying, congratulations. So, let me say this. She's asking, are you trying to find an appropriate life partner, a matching life partner, or do you want a harmonious marriage? Okay, so the master is creating an inquiry. Are you trying to find a matching life partner, or are you trying to create a harmonious and happiest marriage? So he's making this distinction. You have to make the distinction between, are you trying to find a matching life partner, or are you trying to create a harmonious marriage? And so, if you want a harmonious marriage, then the portrait of a person that you want to find is what? Do you have a portrait, a mental image of that person yet? And if you have the mental image of that person, then by what standard? Okay, by what standard do you paint the picture of this person? And so the participant is saying that according to age, the man should be about within 5 years older. And the master is saying, do you really want a person who is older than you? Do you want a person who is actually older than you? And she's saying, yes. Why do you want a person older than you 5 years? And she's saying, according to my experience, that I can feel that a person who is 5 years older than maybe 5 to 8 years, then they will understand me more. They will be. And so the master is saying, what you are looking for is maturity, not age. What you need is a person who is more mature, not a person of old age. You're looking for a person who is more mature than me, that more older. If you bring home a person who's older than you, and you bring him home, and let's say he cannot produce children, would you marry him? If a person fits your criteria of being older than you, and they cannot produce, they cannot perform in bed, would you take him home? Serious question. Will you agree? And so the participants, no, of course not. Why would you want a person who's older? What you need is a person who is more mature. But if they're 20 years old and they're more mature, will you take them? Oh, then you can take them, because you're going to experience a life that is a marriage life that is better. And so the participants get it. The point is, you don't need a person who's older than you. The point is, you need a person who is more mature than you. Usually, women make this mistake. Women make mistake of thinking that they want somebody older, but there are many men who are older than you, and you see that they are still children. Right? Women, right? I'm asking the women here. There are many men who are older than you, yet they are like old children. Really, you don't want an older person. No, you want a person who is more mature. Get it up to here, okay? And so what does it mean when it comes to mature? What does it mean, maturity? Then we have already studied the 7 holistic world. We already talked about maturity of wisdom, of mentality, of character, of wisdom, of physical health. We're talking about competency and material well-being. Okay? So we can use that as your standard by which you can measure another person's maturity. If you use other standard, then you will not going to find any appropriate standard. You can say that they care about you. Okay? So a lot of women will say that I want a man who cares about me. Well, if a man cares about you and he cares about many other women too, will you accept him? No, the participant says no. If you want a man who loves you, yeah, if there's a man who loves you, but he also loves 100 other women, will you take him? Oh, will you accept them? No, then you won't accept them. Then so what do you really want? You want what kind of character does he have? What kind of virtue does he have? What kind of mentality, what kind of wisdom does that person have? Then you're not going to need What you're looking for is not just some simple person that will just love you or care for you. So the standard upon which you measure or value a person has to be clear. And you can borrow the standard of the 7 holistic wealth. Okay. So what you're looking for is you're looking for a person who is more mature. Are you looking for a person who is more materially mature than you as well? Why? The participant is saying, because I want a person who can take care of himself, so that he can care for his family. If a person a man cannot take care of himself, then he is not going to have the confidence. And so the master is saying you're looking for a person who is fulfilled in his material and his, as well as his spiritual life, right? So are you looking for a materially rich person, or a person who is fulfilled in his material life? So she is saying that she's looking for a person who is fulfilled in material life. Okay. So the master is saying, okay, now you see a portrait of a mental picture of the person that you're looking for, right? So if you see that person in front of you, can you commit to bringing him home? If there's a person who meet those criteria and he is exists in front of your face, you will commit to bringing him home? And so up to now you have been wanting what the other person bring to you. If you want that, if you want the kind of man that will bring this benefit to you, then you got to ask, what benefit you bring to the man? And she says she's going to bring this, because here's the truth. Let me tell you the truth. Because if you see that man in front of you, then he's not going to want you, because he has everything already. There's nothing you can offer him. Okay, think about that one. This is for all the women. This is for all the women who have as a mental image an ideal man who is rich in material well-being, who has the virtue and the character, who has it all, who is a perfect man. He will bring all of that to you if you have him. But here's the thing. If he has all of that, he's not going to want you anymore, because what else can you offer him? Think about that one. What else can you offer him if he has it all already? Okay? So think about that. And so, what does a man want from a woman? He's asking the participant, and the young lady is saying that if the man who has that kind of value, then he would want a woman who knows how to listen. And so the master is giving us a secret. Okay, this is speaking to all the young lady who are still looking for that ideal man. Congratulations for having a great mental image of your ideal man. The secret, the truth to you is this: that man is already taken. That man is already taken. He's already married. Why? Because from the moment that he is married, he will become that man. This is a secret to all the young lady who is looking to get married. A man will become that man when he gets married. Meaning all the men that you want, that man has already have a family. Then he becomes mature. He will have that kind of maturity. He will have the kind of wisdom. He will have the kind of mentality. He will have the kind of character and virtue, as well as the physicality, the competency, and the material rich that you are looking for. It takes a family, a married man, to get that. A person who has not been married is not mature enough to fit your picture. A single man will not fit that picture. They are not mature enough. And so what you're wanting, you have to create. You have to create based on the kind of standard, and you have to, it is the seed. You have to build that man yourself. You have to create that man yourself based on the right seed, because that holistic wealth is the fruit that you're looking at. That fruit has already bore fruit. That tree has already grown, and another woman has already reaped that fruit. Okay? So the young lady is realizing, has come to a realization that she has been looking to pick the fruit, but she has not been interested in nurturing or planting any tree. And the master is saying that is why you're going to be seeking, and you're going to be seeking for a very long time. You will never find that man, because that man, that ideal portrait of a man is a mature man, and he only comes through the process of being in a relationship. You will never find that person, because you've been trying to pick the fruit, and that fruit is somebody else has already bore the fruit. This is somebody else's fruit. Okay, somebody has already nurtured that man. Okay, that man has already been nurtured. That fruit has already been, that plant, that tree has been nurtured and taken care of, and then it is now bearing fruit, and it is other people's fruit. If you want the good fruit, you're wanting other people. If a man is letting you pick that fruit, then that fruit is about to go bad anyway. And so this young lady is saying that, this young lady, I noticed that there are some single men who take care of themselves, right? They nurture themselves, they cultivate themselves in all this holistic way, but he doesn't pay attention to me. And the master said, of course, if that person is doing it for themselves, they're not going to give you a chance to be part of that. Do you realize? So the master is saying, why have you realized that? The realization, you got this realization because you have been able to change your inquiry. Your inquiry has been shifted from negative to positive, and as you clarify your inquiry, clarify your desire, then you come to a new realization. And so in the upcoming days, all we gotta do is instead of looking for that man, you change your perspective so that you cultivate yourself, enrich your wisdom and mentality and your character, enrich your virtue, your competency, your physicality, and then you will attract the right kind of man that matches with who you are, and then you nurture that, and together you will come to a relationship. No more looking for a man. It is time to attract the right person, because if you have the right wisdom, if you have truly have the wisdom, then you only need to attract the right person. So the master shared his idea, the master shared his own experience. After he graduated from high school, after he had broken up with a girlfriend of 6 years. After breaking up with his girlfriend for 6 years, the master meet another friend, and who is now his wife. And his wife at that time called him out to a little date. They sat down and had a drink, sugar cane, and she asked him to do her favor. Okay, just a friend at that time. It was a female friend at that time, and she asked him to do her a favor. And he said, "Okay, what favor?" And she said, "The favor is, please marry me." Okay, so his friend at that time asked him to marry her as a favor. And so he asked, why would you want me to marry you? And so his friend at that time said, because she saw that he was a man of moral virtue. He was a man of moral virtue. Um, and the thing is, up to then, nobody really see him as a person of moral virtue. Only his father. But at that moment, this is the only other time, the only other person who saw him as a man of moral virtue. That is a foundation. Look like this. Wow, this woman is interesting. She has moral virtue as the foundation of what it means for her to marry a man. Okay, her man, her ideal husband is a man of moral virtue. And so he was thinking, okay. At that moment, he was thinking that that friend gave him 7 days. Okay, this young lady gave him 7 days to think about it. That proposal to marry him as a favor. I mean, he has just broken up with his previous girlfriend, and so a couple of days later, he called his mother. Mommy, he said, somebody asked me to marry you. What do you think? And so his mother said, well, I'm so happy. If somebody asks you to marry, then that's great. And so he called his lady friend at that time. Okay, he agreed. I will marry you. Okay, I will marry you. And so as they were driving together, he said that he wanted 4 to 6 children. Can you provide 4 to 6? Can you help me with 4 to 6 children? Okay, and she was thinking about it, and later on, um, and today he has now 5 children. Okay, and so the story of our master was aired on TV. There was a part of that game show that shows some really interesting marriages. And so what you want to do is you look for a standard of a man. And as you come into this community, our community, the standard we offer is the standard of holistic wealth and holistic health. A person, the kind of standard you want to have for a person, that you have to have a philosophy of life. You have to have a philosophy of raising children. You have to have a philosophy of doing business and doing an investment. You have to have a philosophy that is based on moral virtue. And then you just based on that foundation, then together you can nurture that tree, and then you will reap the fruit yourself. But if you look for a person who is already the fruit, then that man has already belonged to other women. It is somebody else's neighbor. This is your neighbor's husband and wife. Because a man, to become mature, it takes responsibility. It takes being in a relationship, being married, being a father, for a man to really begin to grow, to mature. Okay, because traditionally people judge a single man to not have been mature. Okay, when you don't have a marriage relationship yet, you are not mature. Even and if a person who had a previous marriage, okay, if a person has a previous marriage, it does not represent that he has matured yet. That person has to have learned some important lesson. He has to have come to some important realization, some important understanding, and transform, so that he can be ready to get into a relationship. Okay, this is a lesson that the teacher is giving to this young lady. And so the young lady is saying that this realization is so simple, yet up to now I have been confused because I have been unclear. I keep on trying to find a fruit that somebody has already nurtured. And I always keep on saying the fruit is no good. I've been seeing a lot of fruit, but the fruit are no good. The master is saying that if you see a fruit that is not yet good, you can nurture that fruit. Okay, you can grow that fruit. A person can change their seed. Okay, you have to understand that You can change the seed yet, but you do not have a philosophy yet. You do not have a whole and comprehensive philosophy, the philosophy of root education that help a person transform completely. Then over time, when you stick to the environment, the learning, the teaching environment here, you will experience a positive transformation for yourself and for other people. Okay. Before we go on to the next inquiry that the teacher is interacting with other student, does anybody here want to take a time to interact? Okay, anybody here in the Zoom, do you guys have any inquiry that you would like to practice with everybody, with me? Anybody? Anybody have any inquiry that you have been asking about life?
I have one. I have one.
Yes, and please share.
Okay, so you're saying if a man has to be married to be more mature, or a man has to be married. Does a man have to be married with children to have children to be more mature, or just a man to be married and then he could be mature?
This is observation from people of wisdom.
Hmm.
Okay, it is observation from people of wisdom, from our ancestors, um, and they state that a man's maturity comes when he is when basically what it's saying when he has responsibility and accountability.
Right. Right.
You have been studying in the mentor program about virtues, right? But one of the
Hmm.
virtue is a virtue of accountability, of trustworthiness, about humanity, right? The virtue of humanity will, it is love, right? Love, humanity is love. It is through love that will activate a person's nature for wealth and resources, right? It is through love that a man will go out and work and provide for his family.
Hmm.
Before I was married, I was totally okay with being poor. I was totally okay with being jobless. It is only when I got married and only when my son is born that I started to take myself seriously. That I realized okay, maybe I need to start actually making money, and so I got a job. See, in my own experience, I'm one of the fortunate people who met a woman who was willing to nurture a seed that is not yet ripe. Okay, while there were many men who were mature, who already have material well-being, somehow that did not resonate with me. She picked a fruit that was still very immature, and she had the realization that together we can grow. And for me, it is very, very true. It is when my son was born and I got married that I started taking seriously my responsibility, and I started, taking a job. Okay, um, and then fortunately for me, I had already set myself on the path of self-development and education and cultivating myself many years even before I got married. But in fact, the fact that I was able to attract a mate is a consequence of personal development. Before then, when I was really, really immature, and I was attracted a lot of people, but I was not mature enough to attract any mate. But it is through desiring for a family that set me on a path to personal development. But the the transformative moment comes when my son was born into my life. Yeah, and so it is a wisdom of people who have already succeeded, people who live and experience lasting harmonious marriages, that a man will generally mature. He will develop his sense of responsibility, his love, his competency, his ability to make money, his ability to keep his word, um, his ability to be on time, all of those virtues that we've been learning in the mentor program, it usually comes with the realization that he is not living just for himself. It is when a man realizes that he is living for the four survival motivation: the self, the family, the organization, and the society, that he will set himself upon the path of maturity. Yeah, and would be, it will be much different than a person who is not married yet. Sure, there are many people who have matured sooner than others, right? Fortunate is a man who, at a young age, come to a realization about moral virtues, about responsibility. Those tend to be very successful. They tend to be the people who are the movers and shakers of the world. If a man can take responsibility for himself as one who is single, and when he becomes married, he'll take even greater responsibility. He'll have more accountability to his organization and to the world. That is why in the United States you often see, let's say, a president, right? A serious president will often try to display his family as part of his, political image. It is a statement to say that, hey, I've gotten my family in order. I have matured. Right? I have matured enough to take care of my family. That therefore I am qualified to take care of the entire country. Yeah. Do you get that? And obviously maturity is different stages, right? When a man gets married and he has the responsibility of his wife, but really when a man is becomes a father, then he really transforms. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That is, at least it is very true for me. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Having a dog doesn't really do it. Some couple choose to own a pet.
Just animals, just a pet.
Yeah, I mean, taking care of pets is, it helps with the maturity and the sense of ability to take care of other people, and it does help. And I do see people who take care of pets even at a younger age. They tend to mature more than those who don't take care of pets and things like that. So it is a sense of caring for other people that will set us on a path to growth and maturity. Okay, but as for an inquiry for yourself, okay, have you, anybody here, Ron and Jihang, and anybody here in the Zoom here, have you guys have any inquiry that you would like to share, so that we can work on and get you to experience a new transformation about life. Beside from that one question, do you guys have any inquiry or question about your own life? If not, then we're gonna continue to see what the master has to say to the other participant. Okay, feel free to raise your hand at any time. Grateful for that question. Thank you, Sen. Okay, so the next inquiry that the youngly have question is, why have I not found happiness yet? Okay, why have I not found happiness yet? So the master is saying that within your heart, that word happiness, is happiness something that comes from other people bringing to you, or is that something that have to come from within yourself? And the participant is saying that happiness should come from myself. Okay? And so the master is re-clarifying it. Does it just come from yourself, or does it have to have somebody being part of that as well? Does it have to have a husband to make you happy? The young lady is saying that in my inner being, when I think about happiness, I think about when I close my eyes and I see why when I close my eye, when I still feel suffering. I don't feel happiness yet. I try to be with myself and I do not find peace. And so I think that happiness is something that I have to bring to myself because I feel like I have not brought myself the happiness I need. Okay, Master is saying that, okay. So, what do you guys think? Is this a positive or negative inquiry? The young lady is saying it is negative. Okay, negative inquiry. Master is congratulating. Good job. You're a great student. You know it's negative. Okay, you know it's negative. Okay, so that's great. And then what? So how are we going to change that to become a positive inquiry? So the young lady is changing it to how can I feel more happy? Okay, so how can I be happy? Okay, so the master is saying this. There are two concepts that we need to remember. Okay, everybody here, please remember the following concept. Remember this saying: there is no such thing as a happy marriage. There is only a harmonious marriage, and happiness from within. Okay, there is no such thing as a happy marriage. There is only a harmonious marriage, and the happiness is from within. Um, Let me see if there's a better way of saying. I know the group. Okay, so some of you have been studying this material. Is there a better way to say that? Supporters, chị có Xuân Ý, cô Hoài My, if you have a better English translation for this phrase, please share. Okay, what I'm getting, I'm translating it using what I know is this: there is no such thing as a happy marriage. There is only a harmonious marriage with happiness from within. Okay, do you guys get that? There is no happy marriage. You can write this down. There is only harmonious marriage, and happiness is from within. Okay? Firstly, we do not try to find the first realization, the first awareness that we need to have is that don't try to find happiness in marriage. Okay, do not try to find happiness in marriage because there are many people who are single and they're still very happy. So we cannot expect to find happiness in a marriage. That is not the most important thing because there's a story. There is a woman. She is a wife of an author, a master of personal development. Okay, this is a master in personal development. When he published a book on personal development, many news media they will interview him, and some of them interview the wife as well. Okay, so this is a master personal development. He has helped many people transform their lives. And so there is this news person is asking the wife, your husband is a master in personal development and has helped many people transform their life. Has your husband brought you happiness? And that woman immediately answered without thinking, no. Immediately, she said that no. And so when the interviewers, the news media heard it, they were really surprised. Okay, and so questions, and so one of the ask, okay, why do you say that your husband did not bring you happiness? This is a famous master of personal development and helped many people experience happiness. So the wife say that a man cannot bring happiness. A man cannot bring happiness to a woman. My husband did not bring me happiness. I was already happy. My husband gave me more happiness. Okay? I was already happy. My husband brought me more happiness. And so when a woman has the expectation that other people bring happiness to her, then that means she is already lacking. And that lacking, that seed of lacking, she's never going to be able to express any happiness or bring any happiness to other people. And so if anybody get married with the expectation of finding happiness in marriage, then the price that they will have to pay, the price that they will have to pay for this mistake is that in their inner being for the rest of their life they will always be seeking for something that does not exist. And so what's important here, the lesson that we're sharing here, is that there is no such thing as a happy marriage. There is only harmonious marriage, and happiness is from within. Okay, only inner happiness and a harmonious family. Okay, so the master is asking the young lady, what do you mean when you think about happiness? And the young lady is saying that when I'm thinking about happiness, I feel that I feel joy. I feel the other person is with me and do the kind of thing that I enjoy as well. I want to be free. I want to be able to decide my own life. I want to be joyful even when I'm doing nothing, and when I'm doing something I feel I have enough. There is a fulfillment involved. Master is saying that in our community there is a book called um, um, something that we in our community, in our wit community, there is a happiness book, Mastering Life. Okay, that if you read it, it will give you some deeper concept on what it means to be happy. Okay, in the upcoming days we will share more about the concept of happiness. Okay, at that point we will get to a deeper understanding of what happiness is. Okay, so now this inquiry, when we start to begin to know what happiness is, at least it is a good beginning, a good inquiry. Okay, what you understand about happiness and you are defining that as happiness, that's fine. But as you get a clearer source concept, you will get a full and complete understanding and mastery of it. Many people want to be free, but being free, doing whatever they want, is not appropriate. You can't just do whatever you want. A person who truly free is a person who has a lot of discipline. You have to have a discipline in order to have true freedom. So the young lady has a realization, happiness is a satisfaction with what we have. So the master is saying, oh, okay, good. That is one corner. There is the energy component. It has the energy of inner peace. There is the energy of tolerance of other people. There is the energy of honoring gratitude related to happiness. There is also the material expression. There is also a realm of living. You have to have health. You have to have the physical health. You have to have mental health. You have to have family relationship. You have to have material well-being too. So there are three aspects of happiness. If you have the full and completeness in all aspects of the triangle of happiness, then you will have the reality of happiness in a way that is full and complete. Okay, that is what it means to be fulfilled in happiness. And so, young lady is saying that if you're saying that if you don't have a harmonious family just yet, then you don't have happiness just yet. And the master is saying that you have harmonious family. Do you have parents? And the young lady say no, I don't have a harmonious family with my parents. Then the master is saying no, then you do not have happiness just yet. Young days, they say that I have not had happiness ever since I was child, because my family taught me to be a good person, but my parents and my older sister are very demanding, very pressuring of me. Okay, and so the teacher saying, then yeah, then you need to find a harmonious, the harmony within the family first. Okay, then you will you will have more of a complete a state of being healthy and happy. Your health has to be good. Your job and your career has to be stable so that you know then what you want in life you can get. Then you will have the idea of what it means to be a fulfilled state or a state of complete and fullness in happiness. Okay, you can read the book, the happiness book on mastering life. Our master is a co-author of that book. Good realization. We're congratulating this young man. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, through the example of the master and the young lady, all we gotta do is shift your inquiry in a line that is positive. Then your realization will become positive. Right? Do you agree that everything that this young lady have been asking or saying, they are not just simple questioning, they are inquiry. She has been asking those questions for a long time, right? And because we have been asking for a time now, when we encounter a condition, a situation that is appropriate, you will come to a realization. Without the condition, without the appropriate situation, that question will continue to repeat. But when you have the question, the inquiry, and when the condition arises appropriate, somebody is appropriate will point you the way and you will get it. But if you don't have an appropriate positive inquiry, why am I not happy? Why am I not happy? Then you will never find it. Why not just ask the simple question, how can I be happy? How can I be happy? How can I be healthy? How can I have a harmonious marriage? Simple shift in the line of inquiry. Okay? So each person here, we can begin to take a look at our inquiry. We can reorient our inquiry. So the young lady is saying that if these criteria you have offered as the criteria or the standard for having happiness, then I don't have it. Does that mean I don't have happiness just yet? Then what can I do? And so the master is saying, good. That is an inquiry. Do you want? You can begin to ask the right question. If you beginning with wanting, okay? Question is like the kind of question that you want to ask is that how can I simply become satisfied with what I have? That is one corner of happiness. How do I simply experience inner peace even when I have nothing? How can I simply experience inner peace even when I have nothing else? How can I be tolerant of other people? How can I simply honor and be grateful for everything in life? There will be formula that we can share with you in the upcoming days of studying, okay? In the upcoming days of studying and sharing knowledge, you will have all the formulas to answer all of those questions. How to simply experience inner peace, how to simply tolerate people, how to honor everything and be grateful. But here, at least is this enough for you guys here to feel that you can shift your own inquiry and come to a better realization, right? So through our little conversation with this young lady, what do you feel? Can we start to change our inquiry yet? Does anybody here want to practice? It's simple. It's that if we have an inquiry and we mistakenly think that it is positive, a person may have an inquiry, okay, how do I become successful? That sounds positive. Even if you have a positive inquiry of how do I become holistically wealthy, okay, You have to clarify what the concept of being holistically rich is before we can become. You see? You may begin with a positive inquiry, but if your inquiry is not clear, if your concept of what you're saying is not clear, then you will never able to come to an appropriate realization. A person in the recording say, if you are just satisfied with what you have, then you will not make any effort and never make any change. The master say, no, you can continue to strive, you continue to make effort. That is what you do. But whether you succeed or not, you're still satisfied. You can strive and make the effort to reach what you want, but whether we reach it or not, you're still satisfied. That is one of the key to happiness. Do you get that? You can strive and make an effort to reach your goal, but whether we reach it or not, you can still be satisfied with where you are at that time. Then that is one of the key to happiness. That instantaneous moment, that ability to be satisfied with what we have, is one of the criteria for happiness. Whether we strive or not, it has nothing to do with to happiness. Okay. So somebody saying that changing from negative to positive is so hard. Master saying, no, it's not hard. You just change. You just switch. You just switch. Nothing hard about it. It's not hard or easy. It is simplicity. First, know what you want, and immediately you will know whether it's positive or negative. Then you can change the inquiry. After you change the inquiry that align with your desire, then you clarify the concept of what you want. It is the process of clarifying those concepts. Then you will really know if your inquiry is truly positive. For example, if you say, why have I been making so much effort but I have not succeeded? Is that a positive or negative inquiry? Okay. Why have I been making so much effort and not succeeded? That is negative. Then you just shifted, how can I become successful? Okay, that's it. How can I become successful? It is a inquiry that align with your desire. And if you can begin by saying, how do I become successful? That is positive or negative? It is positive because it aligns with what you want to become successful. Then the next step is important. It is when you clarify. Okay, it is the process of clarifying your inquiry. First we know, and then you have to clarify. But if what we desire is ambiguous, is unclear, then how are we going to get there? Right? If we say we want to be successful, but if we don't know what successful is, then that inquiry is not totally positive just yet. It's just unclear. You have to have the conception of it. If we desire something that we are clear, then we're going to get it. Happiness. But if we don't know what happiness is, then how are you going to find happiness? Up to now, we've been searching, we've been seeking just a feeling of happiness. But that too is unclear. So what about the concept of success? Let's say we ask the question of how do we become successful? Okay? There are 3 angles to look at it. It's very simple. Achieve what we desire. That is one aspect of success. Whatever we want and we achieve it, that is success, right? Can you agree? With this little angle of perspective, if we want something and we achieve it, then that is successful, right? Success. Whatever we want and we succeed in achieving it, then we succeeded. And so, here's a question. If a person doesn't know what they want, can they succeed? they have already not succeed. Okay? If we don't know what we want, how can we ever achieve it? If we don't know what we want, then we are already very, very, very far from success. Right? The first step, okay, when we clarify the concept, all you got to do is begin by knowing what we want. If we don't know what we want, then don't even bother thinking about success. Okay, number 2. Very simple. Success is defined as for the people who have already succeeded. They have already achieved what they desire, but they still feel that they may not have. Okay? There are people who achieve what they want, what they desire, but yet they feel that not quite success just yet. Have you met anybody who seem to have achieved a lot of what they want, but they can still say, I haven't feel like succeeded. I've achieved a lot. Achievement did not necessarily equate with success just yet. And so the wise ones have given us an additional definition. That first step is simply to achieve what we like. But the second step is others like to be close to. Right? Yes, you can achieve what we want. But if other people like to be close to us, then that's really success. Right? So with this definition, what is a successful mother? A successful mother is a woman, a mother whom children want to be close to. What is a successful wife? A successful wife is a wife whose husband wants to be close to. What is a successful husband? A successful husband is a husband whose wife wants to be close to. Right? What is a successful boss? A successful boss is a boss whose employee want to be close to. It's that simple, right? So that is a second definition. So anybody living in life, many people have achieved the peak of achievement, but everybody want to be far from them. Nobody want to be close to them. Then they can say, I have not succeeded because my wife and children has left me. They don't want to be close to them anymore. And so that success can still needs to be defined by a successful person is one whom others like to be close to. Okay? And in our philosophy, we also have a third criteria. A successful person is a person who live a standard of living or a realm of living Number four. Realm of living number 4 includes maturity, include a degree of material well-being. Okay, so definition of success is to begin with achieving what we desire, having others people like to be close to us, and how to reach the realm of living, which includes maturity and growth and things like that. So if anybody ever have an inquiry, what does it mean to be successful? This is a full and complete picture of what it means to be successful. That is a inquiry that is truly positive when it is clear, when we understand what it is that we're asking. It's repetitive, the kind of question that is repeated day in and day out, and the question is clear so that we know where we're going. And when one day, when you have a clarity of your inquiry, then you will experience the realization. Okay. The realm of living number 4 has to do with having not only an occupation, but a vocation of life, a meaningful vocation, as well as a maturity of life. Okay, it has to do with a meaningful vocation that create value, as well as having a personal maturity associated with it. That is the material expression of success. And we'll talk about that later. Okay? We'll get to that when we talk more about the fruit of life. There are 7 realms of living. Okay, 7 realms of living. Relating correspond to different degree of a maturity of an individual, as well as the value that they contribute to society, with level 4 being enough for us to define that as a realm of living of a person of success, or a successful person. Okay, we are pretty clear on the concept of inquiry. It is so important to a realization, to a transformation. So a person asking, if a person have achieved success and then they are no longer successful, how are we supposed to know why they? How do we supposed to know why they didn't are not successful anymore? Then we just gonna base it on this definition. Okay, we just look at the basic definition. A person may have achieved success, but after a while, maybe the people don't want to be close to them anymore, or the realm of living has diminished. Maybe they've lost some health. They've lost some, some people. Okay. So here we're talking about success, both in a conceptual level, as well as from an energetic level, as well as on a material aspect. Having money is not enough to define a person's success, right? There are many other aspects. There is the people aspect, there is the spiritual aspect as well. A person may be successful in business, but if they're having a broken relationship, then we wonder if they are successful. Okay. And so the master is offering us one more slide. In our philosophy, we want to help everybody simplify life. Okay? When it comes to our inquiry, you only need to ask the following inquiry. How do we enrich? Okay, how do we enrich? And not just materially rich. We're talking about holistic rich. Okay, we're talking about holistically. Holistic. Okay, how to enrich holistically. Secondly, how do we master? Okay, how do we master? We're talking about ownership, we're talking about mastery. Master, not only do we own like a business, but can we take ownership of our inner being? Okay, can we take ownership and mastery of our health? How do we take ownership and mastery of our relationship? And how do we master our finances? Okay? And another inquiry, how do we become? How do we become? Not just become anything else, but how do we become wiser? Okay? Wiser. Okay? Wiser. Smarter. Okay? How do we become more sagacious, knowledgeable? Okay, sagacious. And how to be more erudite. And how do we evolve as a human being? How can we evolve as a human being? But evolve into what? Okay, when we talk about evolution, what is a human being evolving into? Then here we will talk, at some point we will talk about 9 types of people in one. Okay, we will talk about the 9 types of people that a human being should strive to evolve into. So when it comes to inquiry, you just ask, okay, how do we enrich holistically? Right? How do I enrich my wisdom, my mentality, my character, my virtue? How do I enrich my physicality, my competency, my material well-being? How do I master my inner being, my health, my relationship, and my finances? How do I become more wiser? How do I become smarter, more sagacious, more erudite? And how do I evolve into the 9 type of people in one? The kind of people that will bring value to ourselves and to our family, our organization, and the world. When we have the inquiry of how do I become holistically rich, and you come to the answer of how to become holistically rich, then basically that will solve all the problems of life. If you can answer the question, how do I become holistically wealthy? Okay, how do I enrich holistically? If you come to an answer, a realization that's answer that question, then all your problem will be basically solved. Okay, there will be no more problem anymore. There are other inquiry like, okay, how do I have a certain new competency? How do I run the marathon? How do I learn a new skill? How do I have a new, a harmonious marriage relationship? That's fine. Those are wonderful relationship question. But the question of how do I enrich holistically, that covers everything, because that will eventually help us rise above all of life's questions. Okay? Do you guys get that? If anybody have an inquiry that is negative, you can, we will switch to a positive inquiry. Or if you don't have any inquiry, then you can borrow this inquiry. How to become holistically rich. Use that as the foundation of your inquiry. Okay? How to master the 4 areas of life. Because when you have that inquiry and you repeatedly ask that question, then you will come to a realization in alignment with your desire of life that is holistically wealthy and healthy. You will be have the kind of life where you are master of your inner being, your health, your relationship, and your finances. And that inquiry will drive your becoming. You will become wiser. You will become smarter, more sagacious, and erudite. Okay, and then we will learn about the 9 types of people in one later. Okay. So, before we close for today, does anybody want to speak up and share some lesson, impression, and realization, or any inquiry, any question? I'm turning it over to you guys. Let's have somebody say a few things. Anything that you have learned? Ron, Andrew, Syria, Võ Thị Thanh Thúy, Thanh Vân, Sen.
I've learned a lot today in class, and also we had a house meeting about our exams coming up with Mentor 7, and how we just need to come to our inner peace when we're taking the exam.
Okay.
Not get nervous, and how to control the nervousness. And we had a big discussion about that in our house meeting, and it's helped a lot of people, I think.
Okay.
And it's helped me.
Okay.
So, yes. Just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Okay, good. Anything else? Anybody else before we say good night or good day? Once again, I am very grateful that you guys have taken your time to spend with me and everybody in the Zoom. Thank you, Cô Hoài My, for always supporting. Thank you, Cô Kim Hoa. I want to introduce everybody to Cô Kim Hoa. She is the community leader of the WIT in the United States West Coast. It is always a great honor to have her presence through the entire time. So thank you so much. Thank you, and Trương Ngọc Vũ, for being in the Zoom all the way to from the beginning to the end. Okay. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much for Thầy Frank always be here with us on the Thursday morning and share with us many meaningful and valuable lessons on the knowledge of human life. And I am very happy to have a chance to be here, support, and very happy also that the more people turning to receive the values, and you have a clear mental image and also clear about the subconcepts, how we learn, and we take this knowledge to share in English language. And I very happy also having a chance to support for the family of 339 Mentor K07 on this journey. So thank you so much, Thầy Frank. You are the reality, and the way you share the knowledge, and also all of the useful information that we share together. That is a really good reality for all of the brother and sister on the journey, like to become an inner being specialist. And we feel more confident, and we together we take this knowledge to share to more people in yes, not only in the community where we live, where we work, but I also hope that we together can like the heart intentions of our master Thầy Toàn, that we take this knowledge to like to share, to opening to the world to know about this precious knowledge. Yeah. Once again, thank you so much for your time and your dedication and sharing the knowledge this morning. Once again, I also honoring and gratitude to the participant and the presence of all brother and sister in the Zoom. Thank you, anh Ron, chị Thu Hằng, anh Bửu, anh Andrew, and chị Kim Hoa, chị Thanh Vân, anh Sens, and also for the supporting team, cô Syria, cô Trema, cô Xuân Ý. Especially thank you for Thầy Frank for all of you are doing. Very grateful for that. Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to say I thank all of you supporters. You have helped me immensely. And I have so much gratitude towards all of you, taking your time away from your families and sharing all this knowledge with us. I appreciate that very much. And if it wasn't for you, I probably would not be in Mentor 7. And I appreciate that very much. Thank you, everybody. And Chang was on here too. I appreciate her. All our supporters for Mentor 7, the English group, is just amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Andron. Thank you, Thai Frank. Yes, thank you. And also Colin Lei, she is traveling to Japan and to Vietnam, and she will come back soon to Australia. And so she also support on the family of 339 together with Thai Thong and also Ko Audrey. Yes, and we will soon welcoming her back on the translation team in the morning. Also, Colin Lei. Yeah. Once again, thank you so much for all of the presence of brother and sister here, and also for all the contribution of the supporting team. Yeah, thank you so much.
Anybody want to practice this Saturday? Ron, do you want to practice sharing this Saturday? Anybody here? Or thầy anh Trương Ngọc Bửu?
Actually, I was going to ask you, Frank. We just created this tonight. We're going to, the Wheel of Fortune that they use to pick our topics. Well,
Okay.
we're gonna put all our names on
Yeah.
from our house,
Yeah.
and that person, 2 people a day will be sharing.
Okay.
So yes, and I was going to ask you if you'd like to join us when we share.
When are we doing that?
It'll be 9 p.m. Vietnam time. It'll be not tomorrow night, but the following night.
9 p.m. Vietnam time is 6 a.m.
Yeah, so
I'm
6 a.m. our time. And Ko Hua Mi if you want to join as well.
That's tomorrow, starting tomorrow?
We're going to spin the wheel tomorrow after class, and then the next morning for us, and
Okay.
Friday night, I guess it would be.
And it's not every day, Andron. It's every day, and the members in
Yeah,
family
just text it to, send it out to the Telegram.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to try. I'm going to try to get everybody to, we're going to spin the wheel, yes, every day.
Good.
Oh, every day. Great. Yes, thank you. So if you can, when you already finish the banner, the banner, you can poster. I mean, you can share. Maybe Colin Lei, and then she gonna to post on the group, so that we can retell for those brother and sister in the community, especially Mentor K07, if they would like to accumulate, so they can join and to share the values also. Yeah.
Yes.
Just finish the poster, the banner, and share with us. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
I have Luan making that up tonight, I hope, and I'll have it ready for tomorrow's class. And I think it's a good way because when you ask somebody to share, a lot of people hold back, and I think this way it kind of doesn't force them, but it gives them more courage to do it.
Yeah, great things. Yeah. And Frank asking about the sharing on the Zoom at the 9 p.m. Vietnam, right? And Frank,
Yeah,
that
9
is
p.m.
9
Vietnam
p.m.
on Saturday.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yes, 9 p.m. Vietnam on Saturday. If anyone you would like to practice sharing any topic, we already finished.
You can bring that wheel into that 9 p.m. Saturday if you want as well too.
You can share the views on the time. Yes, yeah, that's great. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the Zoom, we have chị Thanh Vân. She's really good at English, and she's practicing also sharing the knowledge. So if Anran can have a connection with chị Thanh Vân, yeah, she is a teacher, but she have so many years working on teaching English, and now she also mentor K07. So chị Thanh Vân, if you convenience, so you can share the information and get connection to Anron. And yeah, that is a good chance for us to practice. And if you need any support, not only from Thầy Thống and Cô Linh Lê or Cô Audrey, but all the supporting team here are here for you too. Yeah.
Yes, once I get that, Frank, I'll send it to you. You can set it up for Saturday mornings.
Okay, thank you. All right. You guys take care, okay? Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah,
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.